Titus, the founder of Intellect. We're an independent automotive research and analysis company. We've been asked on behalf of this dealer to give you a road test and review of the 2012 Ford Flex. All right, I got to ask you right up front, are you as fed up with all these different vehicle segment names as I am? I got to tell you, as an automotive journalist, every press release that comes across my desk, I got to see that it's in a different class or segment of vehicle. And of all the titles, I mean, SUV got me going pretty good, but boy, of all the titles, crossover, and that's supposed to mean what? Well, allegedly, it's how you pick different things from different vehicles, and this vehicle crosses all those lines. Just frustrated the heck out of me. Well, we look at this vehicle, the Ford Flex, son of a gun, if it doesn't cross over pretty nicely, because it takes attributes from minivans, SUVs, station wagons, driving sedans, and, when I tell you about the engines in a minute, even performance sedans. All right, let's talk about the fact there are 4 different models available: SE, SEL, Limited, and Titanium, which, boy, is that thing loaded. Having said that, 2 different engines. We like both choices. The base engine is a V6 3.5 liter, makes 262 horsepower. That's not bad, at 248 foot-pounds of torque. And it does this getting 17 city and 24 highway in terms of fuel economy. For a vehicle this size and capability, that pleased us. Of course, for those who like more scoot, and by more scoot, I'm talking about a lot more scoot, we're talking about the EcoBoost engine. Now, that's a 3.5 liter V6 as well, but with a twist. Twin turbochargers. Now, why 2? You could do 1 big one. The problem with that is very slow in throttle response. Go to 2 small ones, the throttle response is instantaneous, which we love to see. And of course, you gain more low-end performance from the vehicle, i.e. where you really do need it. Both are mated to 6-speed automatic transmissions. The base engine hooked to a standard 6-speed. And of course, the EcoBoost is hooked up to what they refer to as their select shift, meaning you can put it in a manual mode and even use the pedals on the steering wheel if you want to go ahead and shift like a Formula One driver. Got to tell you, the flexibility of doing that, no pun, is a nice thing to have. Of course, when you get in a vehicle that's a family vehicle, we like to see stability in handling, responsiveness. We're going to talk about that right now because we're talking about the front suspension. It'd be remiss not to mention to you that this is a standard front-wheel drive vehicle. It's also available with what they refer to as all-wheel drive. We're fans of that technology. Yes, even in the Sun Belt. Believe me, there'll be a time when this very intelligent system, which requires no operation for you as a driver, can come in there and save your bacon. Good stuff. And the penalty to mileage is all but negligible. You really have no idea it's working for you. We thought that was solid. They've gone with what's basically the standard suspension system of the industry today, McPherson strut in the front. We think that packaging-wise makes a lot of sense. It gives you a good compromise between handling, ride comfort, and we love the durability. This stuff is strong. Nothing but good news there. In the back, because of the packaging of this kind of vehicle, i.e. it will carry a lot, they've gone to what they refer to as a multi-link suspension system. Geometrically, that's a great compromise for ride quality and traction value, but it also lowers that system so you have a nice flat floor. We thought that was a good call. 4-wheel disc brakes, oh yeah, we're a fan. And of course, ABS and EBD and all the current technologies today that make these braking systems so smart and so fast reacting and really maximizing stopping capability. Should mention, we've driven it with pretty much a number of combinations. They've got 17-inch wheels. They've got 20-inch wheels. You pretty much pick it out the way you want. We found all work better. When you go to a taller wheel, you're just looking to a little bit more responsive vehicle in its overall handling. Should also mention, this is available. You can take the Flex and option it up to a Class 3 tow package. That means it will get a Class V hitch. It will get a 4 to 7 pin plug, and it will tow 4,500 pounds. Talk about flexibility. We thought that was good stuff. Let's take a look at the safety side because that's technology rich as well. All right, you start talking safety and Flex, you better have a lot of spare time. I'll hit the high hard ones for you because we were shocked at how deep this topic can get as applied to this vehicle. We'll just set the bar. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety gives this vehicle their highest rating good in all 4 crash criteria. That, frankly, is a good place to start from. A couple of little details we want to share with you on how that got accomplished. We love the impact mapping, and I understand impact mapping is kind of a broad term, but if you understand what we're really talking about, it's the art of self-sacrifice by the vehicle. What will the vehicle do for you in a crash environment? First, we start with the notion that, guess what, we're seeing Ford use more and more of what they refer to as high-strength steel. Believe it or not, steel has many different ratings. And high-strength steel, yes, it costs more money, but it builds a better vehicle, not only in a crash environment, but in the long-term investment environment as well. A lot of high-strength steel here. But when I talk about the art of self-sacrifice, what I'm talking about is this impact mapping. A serious crash has a lot of kinetic energy to it, and what they don't want to have happen is that kinetic energy reach you. So the vehicle has to become involved. Sacrifice panels in a very controlled manner so we can reduce the mass energies coming into the cockpit. To do this, and bear in mind this happens in mils of a second, we literally have this conical shaped device here, more structure underneath here, cross-car beams, and the ability, as these panels fold up, to actually decide where that energy needs to go, up into the roof panel, across the cowl, down through the bulkhead, even through the rocker seals if necessary, to lower the kinetic mass to you. It's an extraordinarily fascinating science when you get involved with it, but more importantly to you is it makes it to the vehicle, and we love the safety ratings overall. Of course, 6 airbags, you'd expect that, fuel inertia cutoff switches. Now, there is a nice detail in this, what they call safety canopy, because for the longest time they were just coming down inside impacts to protect the head structure of people. Now, this one actually has what they call roll fold technology. Ford pioneered this, so no matter where your head is relative to that bag, it will push it out of the way and make sure the bag is between you and the side of the vehicle, and not just in the side impact. This now has rollover sensors as well. As soon as you get yourself in that situation, literally the bag will trigger and protect you in a rollover environment, just side impact. So nice detail. Boy, we love it. No wonder it got the safety ratings it's got. Now, you can't talk about flex without talking about flexibility. To do that, it starts at the back of the vehicle. You know, it occurred to me there's probably 100 different things I could point out in the interior of the Flex. I thought it might just be better if it spoke for itself. You can see that wasn't exactly a lot of work. The third row seats are already folded down and put away. I wanted you to see that not only are they one-hand operation, but what a nice smooth floor they make in terms of cargo volume. Second row, yeah, that's real tiring as well. You push a button, they fold down and then fold forward. So there's plenty of volume here. Details, yeah, we look for that kind of stuff, and I love it. Cup holders, even in the third row, nicely done, and little storage compartments as well. Like maybe they actually plan for someone to be back there. I love the lift over height as well. It's important that it's low, part of that rear suspension advantage. And in terms of just operating the vehicle on a day-to-day basis, yeah, exhausting. All right, I'm going to be candid with you. I can't remember a time we've tested a vehicle that required us to spend as much time in the interior as it did in terms of performance and handling testing. The Ford Flex is like that. So much of the core of this vehicle is about its interior and, if you will, its flexibility. The whole team spent hours in here, like we spend hours normally out on the road and on the test track. Okay, that's all right, because frankly, that's what this vehicle is all about. Now, to give you an idea, rather than walk you through all the features and accessories that are available here, I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes version, because you're entering the luxury market at this point. Not inexpensive to get into, but there are features here you would expect. But surprisingly, there are a lot of features here you wouldn't expect, and I'd like to point out a few. We love the particulate filter for cabin air. That goes all the way down to 10 microns. That's the thickness of a hair. We think that's obviously a nice thing to have at this level. The power pedals, you probably would expect that. When you get to the second row, by the way, the third row that you can actually reach if you go with that model, we love the seating capability, including the adjustability for legroom in the second row. That surprised us. We thought that was good news. Of course, the class exclusive availability of a second row refrigerator, that one caught us out initially. We grew to become big fans of it in the end. You can even make ice in that thing. We love the 110 inverter. You never know what accessories you may want to bring with you to a certain event. The fact that you can plug in a 110, we thought that was good stuff. A feature I'm glad didn't exist when I was in my youth, and that, of course, as you go with the second row bench seat, they've got a center slide option available. That's designed to be so an attentive mother could actually take care of a child in a baby seat that had been drawn forward. I'm kind of glad it didn't exist, because frankly, it might have been a great way to retaliate for any smart alecky remarks remarks, so I'm glad that we were further back as youth. Of course, audio-wise, everything you can imagine, Sirius radio and Sirius Link for travel and weather available, and route mapping, all voice activated, by the way. HD radio, which is now starting to really come on for the AM/FM stations. I think that's good. 390 watts, 12 speakers in this puppy. Certainly, if you need to make the eardrums ring, this thing's capable of that. We love the thumb controls. We think this is good ergonomically. We pay a lot of attention to that. A lot of key features. We could spend a lot of time talking about that. We really want to get into is what are 5 key criteria for evaluating a vehicle. And you may want to adopt these for yourself, whether you're looking at the Ford Flex or any other vehicle for that nature. We're real critical on these key areas. Of course, the value story. Again, this is not an inexpensive vehicle. We wanted to make sure the money paid you back. It clearly does. The safety side. Well, frankly, it's always kind of a relief to know you're going to be testing a Ford Motor Company product because, frankly, at every level they participate in, they bring every safety feature they have. There's no compromise. There's no check and option box. They got it. They bring it. We love it. And they're always cutting edge on their safety. Hence, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety giving them their highest marks in all 4 crash criteria. Overall performance. Now, we see power as your friend. We know everyone's sensitive to fuel economy, but power is important. And we wanted to make sure both packages would certainly make the kind of power necessary to make this vehicle overall maneuverable. And again, we know fuel economy matters, and the packaging with the 6-speed automatics really does pay off there. Handling, again, the best way not to use all these crash features and safety features is to, well, avoid the crash in the first place. We love the maneuverability. We put a lot of mark on that as well. Frankly, it also makes the vehicle more fun to drive. And then there's the biggie when it applies to Ford Flex, and that is convenience. An important category because tomorrow morning, that's not the price in the driveway, it's the vehicle you bought. Now you get to live with it. And living with a Flex is going to be really easy to do because that was the key element of its design. Large doors, easy to get into seats, a 3rd row availability that you can actually use, and a power fold downs and the 1-arm operation for flip down. Gotta tell you, overall, when you do the math on this thing, there's only one way to surmise this vehicle, and that is excellent. Well, I told you right up front, I've been real resistant to this crossover segment name. But in this case, when you got a vehicle like the Flex that is, dare I say it, flexible, how can you not want to go with that term? It draws attributes from so many different types of vehicles to build what we think is a perfect combination. Now listen, if you've got questions about the Flex or any other vehicle you might be considering, don't be afraid to go ahead and contact us at, well, autointellect.com. We'll answer your questions. I'm Rick Titus. Thanks for your time.